Shabbat Shalom. Rabbi Mordechai Yosef of Izbeka underscores the lesson for our lives and brings the essence of our coming together this Shabbat morning to light. In the building of the tabernacle, all Israel was joined in heart. No one felt superior to his fellow. At first, each skilled individual did his own part, and it seemed to each one that his work was extraordinary, unique. Yet afterwards, they saw how their varying contributions were integrated, how all the boards and the sockets, the loops and the curtains, the gold and crimson, all fit together as if one person had done it all. Then they realized how each of them had depended upon the other. Then they understood what they had accomplished was not by virtue of their own skill alone. They were joined in making the master plan come true. Moreover, the one who made the holy ark itself was unable to feel superior to the one who had only made the courtyard 10 pegs. So it is with us this Shabbat morning, each individual having walked through the doors of our sacred sanctuary or intentionally turned on our services on your screens. It is an essential piece to our Shabbat celebration. Every single person is important in their own right and has a role in making the mood of our worship just right, and also support our bat mitzvah, Miriam Adele Nathan. This morning, she will be leading us in that mishkan making, that building of the tabernacle. But she and we need your help. So join us in our blessing building project. In order to do this, put away your thoughts of the outside world, turn off your cell phones, and do your part in sharing in congregational readings, in every song or melody, whether you know it completely or not, in hearing Miriam as she shares her Torah truth, in silent seeking and meditations, in blessing, song, and spirit. Each of us has a part to play in making this Shabbat special, in creating sacred space from which we all benefit when we celebrate Shabbat as one community. We begin on page 78, Elohai neshama shenatata bi, my God, the soul you have given me is pure.
Elohai, Elohai, neshama, shenatata bi, tehorahi. Elohai, Elohai, neshama, shenatata bi, tehorahi. Ata verata, ata yetzarta, ata nefachta bi. Ve'ata meshamera, meshamra b'kirbi. Elohai, Elohai, neshama, shenatata bi, tehorahi.
On page 83, we read responsively as we recognize the blessings that we are given daily. As I awaken, let this be my thought. May my day be filled with acts of loving kindness. Let me be drawn to learning and discernment, and may my actions be shaped by mitzvot.
Keep me from iniquity, disgrace, and sin. May I not be overwhelmed by temptation or despair.
Distance me from evil people and false friends. Let me cultivate a life of goodness.
May my hands reach out in kindness, and I will serve God through acts of righteousness.
Today and every day, may I merit your mercy by living my life with compassion and love.
Holy One of blessing, draw me to your words. Teach me the art of sacred living.
Baruch atah Adonai, hamelamed chasadim tovim le'amo Yisrael. We rise for Chatzi Kaddish on page 106 as we remain standing through Shema.
Yitkadav, yitkadav, Shemei Rabbah, Amen. ועמד יברח חירותי, וימליך מלכותי, וחייכון ויומכון, וחייך בית ישראל. בהגלה ובזמן קריב, ויאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם עולמי עלמיה. יתברך, יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתשמם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה, שמי קודשה בריחו, לעילא מן כל בחטא ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירון ועלמה, ויאמרו אמן.
As we turn to 108 for the Baruch Hu, it is my pleasure to call forward our bat mitzvah, Miriam Adele Nathan, to lead us in the next section of our worship.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam ha'ed. We continue on page 110. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam, yotzer or uvarei choshech, oseh shalom uvarei et hakol, hami'ir la'aretz ve'ladarim alecha v'rachamim, uvtuvo mechadesh v'chol yom tamid ma'aseh v'reshit, ma rabu ma'asecha Adonai, kulam b'chochma asita, mal'ah ha'aretz kinyanecha. Titbarach Adonai Eloheinu, al shevach ma'aseh yadecha, ve'al me'orei or she'asita yifa'aruch ha'sela, or chadash al Zion ta'ir, v'nizkeh chulanu mehera le'oro. Baruch atah Adonai, yotzer ha'me'orot. We continue in the middle of page 113. Love your neighbor as yourself, you said. And light-blinded we saw that inner and outer worlds are one, as you are one. You spoke and we wrote. We reached for you down the centuries, your light moving before us. As we climbed, fell back, and climbed again, your Sinai of life. Baruch atah Adonai, habocher be'amo Yisrael be'ahava. We continue on page 114. Sorry. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem, Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Please be seated. We continue together on page 116. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Veshinantam levanecha, v'dibartam bam, v'shivtecha b'veitecha, uv'lechtecha v'derech, uv'shachbecha uv'kumecha, u'kshartam leot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha, u'chtavtam al mizuzot beitecha, Uvisharecha leman tiskeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'item kedoshim leloehem ani Adonai Eloehem asher hotzeiti etem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'elohim ani Adonai Elohim, Emet. We continue on page 121. Emet. There is no place where you are not. Even in the wilderness, there is your word. Emet. That pen strokes of lightning, white fire, black flame. Stir the soul's passion, guide our sacred way. True and enduring is Torah. Your truth for us is certain and established, now and forevermore. Like Moses, Miriam, and all Israel, we sing out and rejoice. Okay.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedor b'kodesh, norot teilot, osef eleh, shira chadasha, shibchu geulim, לשמחו שפת הים, יחד כולם הודו, והמליכו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. צור ישראל, קומה בעזרת ישראל, קראנו, אדוני צבאות שמו, קדוש ישראל. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga Yisrael.
Sorry. We continue with the Amidah on page 124. Please rise. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid techilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, ve'Konei Hakol, ve'Zocher Hasei Avot B'machot, u'mevi gula lifnei v'neihem, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת צרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל התורה להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מהקל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומידו מלך, מלך ממיץ ומקיים, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. נקדש את שמך בעולם, Leshem Shem Maktishim Oto Bishmei Marom Kakatuv al Yad Niviecha Vikarav Zel Ze Ve'amar Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh Adonai Tzevaot Meloch al haaretz Kevodo Adir, Adirenu Adonai Adonenu Ma'adir Shimcha Becho haaretz Baruch Kevod Adonai Milkomo Echad Hu Eloheinu Hu Avinu Hu Malkeinu Hu Moshienu V'Hu Yashmienu V'Rachamav Le'nei Kochav Ani Adonai Elohechem Yimloch Adonai Le'olam Elohai Tzion Ledor Vador Hallelujah Ledor Vador Nagid Godlecha Ulenetzach Netzachim Kedushatcha Nakdish V'shivchacha Elohidu Mipinu Lo Yamush Le'olam Va'ed Baruch Atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. Please be seated. We continue on page 132, singing Yismechu as we praise God for the gift of Shabbat.
Yismechu v'malechutecha, shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat, korei oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechutecha, shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat, korei oneg Shabbat. Mekareshe shevi Shabbat, kulam yismeu v'yitangu mituvecha Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechutecha, shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat, korei oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechutecha, shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat, korei oneg Shabbat. V'hashvi ratzita bo v'kidashto Shabbat, chemdat yamim oto karata Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechutecha, shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat, korei oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechutecha, shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat, korei oneg Shabbat. Zecher lema'aseh v'reshit Shabbat.
continue on page 137. Ever-present one, may we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayer. Wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land, in Zion restored, in all lands, you are our God, whom alone we serve in reverence. Baruch atah Adonai, she'etcha levadcha b'yirah na'avod. We acknowledge with thanks that you are Adonai, our God, and the God of our ancestors forever. You are the rock of our lives and the shield of our salvation in every generation. Let us thank you and praise you for our lives which are in your hand, for our souls which are in your care, for your miracles that we experience every day, and for your wondrous deeds and favors at every time of day, evening, morning, and noon. O good one whose mercies never end, O compassionate one whose kindness never fails, we forever put our hope in you. For all these things, O sovereign, let your name be forever praised and blessed. O God, our Redeemer and Helper, let all who affirm you and praise your name in truth. Blessed are you, Adonai, your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'el lahodot.
Sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, tova uveracha. Sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, tova uveracha. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, tova uveracha.
Together, grant peace, goodness, and blessing, grace, kindness, and mercy to us and to all your people Israel. Bless us, our Creator, all of us together, through the light of your presence. Truly through the light of your presence, Adonai our God. You gave us a Torah of life, the love of kindness, justice, and blessing, mercy, life, and peace. May you see fit to bless your people Israel at all times, at every hour, with your peace. Praised are you, Adonai, who blesses your people Israel with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamevarech et amo Yisrael, Shalom.
Having prayed for peace in our world, we think of those who face the future not fully whole, those who are in need of healing of mind, of body, and of spirit. We think of them and whisper their names aloud now. Our prayer for healing, Mishaberach, can be found on page 253.
Mishaberach avotenu, mikol habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach imotenu, mikol habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with please take a moment for your own silent prayers.
Ose shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael.
Seder Kriyat HaTorah, our service for the reading of Torah, page 245. Assemble the people, men, women, and children, and the strangers in your cities, to hear, to learn, to revere Adonai your God, to observe faithfully the words of this Torah, and let their children who do not yet know it hear, that they too may learn to revere Adonai your God. As we prepare to open the ark and take out our sacred scrolls, I call upon the generations of Miriam's family to join us in front of the ark and stand in the chain of tradition. Her parents, Rabbi Mara and Larry Nathan, her grandmother, Hope Zimmerman, and her other grandparents, Neil and Linda Nathan. And I invite up Warren and Elise Zindler, her great uncle and aunt, to open our ark. And I invite you all to please rise.
En kamachava Elohim Adonai, en kemasecha, malchutcha malchut kol olamim, u'memeshatecha bechol dor v'dor. Adonai melech, Adonai malach,
It's just like a
Adonai
curtain.
moch le'olam va'ed. Adonai oz le'mo yitin, Adonai yevarech et amo v'shalom.
Miriam. This Torah given to Moses by God, the inheritance of the congregation of Israel. At Mount Sinai, God gave Moses the gift of Torah to share with the people of Israel. In his time, Moses handed Torah down to Joshua. Joshua, too, in his time, passed the Torah down to the elders. The elders passed Torah down to the men of the great assembly. They passed Torah down to the rabbis, who spent their lives making modern meaning of the sacred traditions found in this Torah, so that we, standing here today, more than 2,000 years after the age of the rabbis, are able to claim Torah as our heritage and pass Torah down to you. We hope that one day you will pass Torah down to the generations that come after you, maybe even on this very bima. So Torah goes midor lador, from generation to generation.
In this scroll is the secret of our people's lives from Sinai until now. Its teaching is love and justice, goodness and hope. Freedom is its gift to all who treasure it.
Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah. Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah. Lecha Adonai hamamlacha v'mitnaseh lechol erosh. Ledor vador, ledor vador, ledor vador nagid God lacha. Ledor vador, ledor vador, ledor vador nagid God lacha. Ulenetzach netzachim kedushatecha nakdish, kedushatecha nakdish. V'shivchacha Eloheinu mipinu lo yamush leolam leolam va'ed. Ledor vador, ledor vador, ledor vador nagid God lacha. Ledor vador, ledor vador, ledor vador nagid God lacha. Ulenetzach netzachim kedushatecha nakdish, kedushatecha nakdish. V'shivchacha Eloheinu mipinu lo yamush leolam leolam va'ed. Hine ma tov u'manaim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manaim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, hine ma tov. Ya la 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 la. Hine ma tov, hine ma tov. Ya la 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 la. Hine ma tov u'manaim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manaim shevet achim gam yachad. You may be seated. This week we read from Parshat Noach, the story of Noah and the ark. And as we are told in the Torah, Noah is a righteous man in his generation. At a time when all on earth is corrupt, God chooses Noah to make a covenant and begin anew. Miriam will share more of this story as she reads from Genesis chapter 6, verse 11 through chapter 7, verse 5, which you can follow along inside the service supplement. For the honor of the first Aliyah, it's my pleasure to invite Miriam's grandparents, Neil and Linda Nathan, and her aunts and uncles, David and Mandy Nathan, Danny and Lisa Nathan.
No, it starts here.
Baruch et Adonai hamborach. Baruch Adonai hamborach le'olam voed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam, asher bochar banu mikol holamim, v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
ותשחט הארץ לפני האלוהים, ותמלא הארץ חמס. וירא אלוהים. It's gone. I don't know where it is. Wait, sorry. Okay, sorry. Sorry. וירא אלוהים את הארץ והנה נשחטה, כי השחית כל בשר את דרכו על הארץ. Vayomer Elohim leNoach, Kates kol basar ba'lefanai, ki mal'a ha'aretz hamas mipnehem, v'hineni mashkitam et ha'aretz. And the earth became corrupt before God. The earth was filled with violence. And when God saw how corrupted the earth was, how all flesh was acting in a corrupt way upon the earth, God said to Noah, "The end of all flesh has come to mind before me, because the earth is full of violence on their account. Look now, I'm going to wipe them off the earth."
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher notan lanu torat emet, b'chayei olam notah b'tcheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
For the honor of the second Aliyah, it's my pleasure to invite her grandmother, Hope Zimmerman, along with her aunts and uncles, Aaron Zimmerman and Kira Goldberg, Rebecca and Howard Mansell.
Baruch hu et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Aseh lecha tevat atzei gofer, kinim ta'aseh et ha'teva, v'chafarta ota, mibayit u'michutz ba'kofer, v'zeh asher ta'aseh ota, shelosh me'ot amah, orech ha'teva, hamishim amah rochba, u'shloshim amah komata. Zohar ta'aseh lateva, ve'elama techalena miomala, ufeta hateva betzida tasim, taktim, sheniim ushlishim ta'asecha.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu torat emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Make yourself an ark of gopher wood. Make the ark with rooms and cover it with tar inside and out. This is how you will make it: 300 cubits long, 50 cubits wide, and 30 cubits high. Make a roof for the ark, making it overhang from above by a cubit. Put the ark's door in its side, and make it with the bottom, second, and third decks.
For the honor of the third Aliyah, I would like to invite Miriam's brothers, Isaac and Solomon Nathan. Oh, and her cousins, Lily and Dahlia Mansell and Max Zimmerman.
Baruch hu et Adonai Hamvorach. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, ונתן לנו את תורתו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
ואני, הנני, מביא את המבול מים על הארץ, לשחט כל בשר, אשר בו רוח חיים מתחת השמיים, כל אשר בארץ יגבר. והקימותי את בריתי איתך, ובאת אל התיבה, אתה ובניך, ואשתך ונשי בניך איתך. ומכל החי, מכל בשר, שני מכל, תביא אל התיבה להחיות איתך, זכר ונקבה יהיו. As for me, I am to bring the flood waters upon the earth, to destroy all that lives under the heaven, all that has the breath of life in it. Everything on earth shall expire. With you, though, I will establish my covenant. Go then into the ark, you, your wife, your sons, and their wives with you, and take 2 of each of every living creature, of all flesh, into the ark, male and female, to keep alive with you.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu torat emet, v'chayei olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
For the honor of the 4th Aliyah, it's an honor to invite Rabbi Mara and Larry Nathan.
Baruch hu et Adonai habarach.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai habarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Me'ha'of leminehu, umin ha'behema lemina mikol, remes ha'adama leminehu, shenai mikol, yava'u elecha l'chahayot, ve'ata kach lecha, mikol ma'achal asher yachel, ve'asavta elecha, ve'haya lecha, ve'lachem le'ochla, vayas Noah kehol, asher tziva oto, Elohim keinasa. Every type of bird, every type of beast, every type of creeping thing, let 2 of each come to you to keep them alive. And take along edible food items of every kind. Gather them up so there is food for yourself and for them. And Noah did just as God commanded him. That is what he did.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu torat emet, v'chayei olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
The final Aliyah we reserve for our Bat Mitzvah. Ta'amod Miriam Chana Bat Harav Michla Shena V'Hillel Yisrael Habachara Habat Mitzvah.
Baruch et Adonai Hamavora.
Baruch Adonai habarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Vayomer Adonai leNoach, bo ata v'chol beitcha el hateva, ki otcha ra'iti, tzadik lefanai bador hazeh, mikol ha... מכל הבהמה הטהורה. תיקח לך 7 איש ואשתו, ומן הבהמה אשר לא טהורה היא 2 איש ואשתו. גם מעוף השמיים 7 זכר ונקבה, לחיות זרה על פני כל הארץ היא לימים עוד 7. אנוכי ממטיר על הארץ 40 יום ו40 לילה, ומחיתי את כל היקום אשר עשיתי. Sorry. מעל פני האדמה, ויעש נוח ככל אשר ציווהו אדוני. Then the Eternal One said to Noah, "Go into the ark with all your household, for I see that you alone in this age are righteous before me. Take 7 pairs of every pure beast, male and its mate, and 2 of every impure beast, 2, a male and its mate. Of the birds of the sky 2, 7 pairs, male and female, to give life to offspring on the face of the earth. For in another 7 days and nights I will pour rain upon the earth, 40 days and 40 nights, and wipe out all that exists, all that I have made off the face of the earth." Noah then did just as the Eternal had commanded him. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
This concludes our reading of Torah. For the honor of lifting the Torah, Larry Nathan, and it's a pleasure to invite cousins Evie Zimmerman and Juliet Mansell to dress the Torah. Please rise. Vezot haTorah shesa Moshe lifnei bnei Israel. Abi Adonai b'yad Moshe. Vezot haTorah shesa Moshe lifnei bnei Israel. Abi Adonai b'yad Moshe. Yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai lai. You may be seated.
Okay. My Torah portion, Parshat Noah, tells how God got very angry with the humans because they were being disrespectful and violent to each other and God. God decides to flood the entire world, but tells a man named Noah to build an ark and put him, his family, and 2 of every animal on the ark. After more than 40 days, the storm stopped, and Noah realized how foolish people's actions were, so he apologized, and God promised to never flood the earth again. After this, the humans decided to build a city with a huge tower that would be able to reach God. God didn't like this, so they scattered all the humans around the world and gave them different languages. The verses I read this morning were about God telling Noah to build an ark and bring some of his family and 2 of every animal on it. God tells him that the ark will be a warning to the people, so they will stop their foolish ways and get their acts together. This obviously doesn't work. I was interested in why God decided to destroy the world in the first place. God is known through pretty much all religions as being all good and amazing and perfect, and in this instance, God got mad and almost destroyed the entire earth. God could have talked to the people directly, or at least sent someone to talk to them, but instead, God just killed everyone except for a small group. I recognize that this was early in the Torah, but I feel like this makes God more human-like. It shows God getting frustrated and being destructive like humans usually are, and then apologizing and promising to never destroy the earth again. The rabbis were also confused as to why God would do this. There are a lot of missing details to the story, so a lot of rabbis wrote midrashim, which are stories they made up to try and make more sense of what was happening, kind of like a backstory. Their explanation was that because life for humans was too easy, people were taking it for granted and started being disrespectful towards God and each other. The Midrash Tanhuma explained that Noah was told to build the ark with the hope that while he was doing it, the people around him would ask him what he was making and why he was making it. So when Noah said, "I am building an ark because God is about to bring a flood to the earth," the people would take it as a warning and change their ways. But in this midrash, the people did not listen and simply ignored Noah. Another explanation in Midrash Tanhuma says that God did not want to destroy all life, and God gave the people a chance to change, but they did not listen. God wanted to save them, but they would not cooperate. I have mixed feelings about this because although the people were to blame for their evil behavior, it doesn't seem like this would be the best way to communicate how big the problem had become. Of course, they should have listened to Noah, and they could have realized what they were doing and changed, but it would be pretty crazy if someone started building a giant ark and then said it was because God was going to flood the entire world. I probably wouldn't listen to someone building a giant ark either. I can see why the problem wasn't solved because that's just a crazy thing to say. I feel like God could have figured out a different way to get the people to stop being bad. I think this midrash relates to COVID. Doctors and scientists were saying that COVID was real and would be a pandemic, and many people around the world were saying the opposite. These people wouldn't get vaccinated or wear masks, which led to them getting COVID, and some of them got very sick or even died. I feel that it has the same effect because the doctors and scientists are like Noah in this situation, and our modern day people were just like the people in Noah's time, in the sense that they did not believe their warnings. Even though my family and I were very careful from the moment COVID became a thing, I still wound up getting sick in the middle of this past summer. I was lucky that I only felt bad for a day or two, but still. It makes me think about how many fewer people could have gotten sick around the world if more people had paid closer attention to the advice the doctors were giving. Becoming a bat mitzvah is important to me because it is the next step in my Jewish life. To be honest, it wasn't ever really a question that I was going to do this, especially because my mom was the rabbi. But as the youngest of 3 children, it's cool for it to finally be my turn. My favorite part about being Jewish is being at Green Family Camp each summer. I've been going there since I was 4 years old. Being with a lot of Jewish friends, learning Israeli dances and Jewish music makes being Jewish fun. I know I will keep coming to religious school and learning new things, and I'm looking forward to becoming a madricha next year, helping younger kids feel comfortable and having a good time being Jewish. I want to thank my parents for helping me figure out how to do this whole thing. Thank you for planning the party with me, for sending out the invites. Thank you, Mom, for forcing me to practice my Torah even when I didn't want to. And thank you both for always being so supportive of me. Thanks to Isaac and Sally for being typically annoying but also helpful big brothers. You drive me around and take me to get canes when I ask, and we do occasionally have fun together. You both did an awesome job at your bar mitzvahs, even though I don't really remember Isaac's, and I'm glad to finally be doing mine too. Thank you to Hagit for keeping me calm and helping me prepare. Thank you, Cantor Berlin, for helping me with my final preparations. Thank you, Rabbi Jurgen, for working on my Devar Torah with me and letting me play with Trevor and Josh, and leading services today with Cantor Berlin. Thanks also to Eleanor for creating my beautiful invitation. Thank you to all my friends from school and camp who showed up to be here, especially everyone who came from out of town. I'm so happy so much of our family and friends came from all over to be here this weekend. We all miss Papa a lot, but Grandma, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for all being here to support me in my bat mitzvah. Shabbat shalom. What do I do now? Okay. Hey.
Jewish tradition teaches that the world stands on 3 things: Torah, Avodah, and Gemilut Chasadim, study, worship, and acts of loving kindness. Miriam has fulfilled the first 2 pillars, having led services beautifully and just reading Torah and teaching Torah just now. Miriam will fulfill the 3rd pillar of Gemilut Chasadim, acts of love and kindness. At Temple Beth-El, we don't read from the traditional Haftarah, but rather we ask our students to pick a prophetic text that speaks to them. These texts come from our building, many found on our stained glass windows here in the sanctuary. Chosen by the founders of Temple Beth-El, they represent our congregational core values. So Miriam will lead the traditional Haftarah blessings and then share her prophetic perspective.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar bin ve'im tovim v'ratza v'divrehem hane'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'Torah u'v'Moshe avdo u'v'Yisrael amo u'v'nvi'eh ha'emet v'tzedek. For my prophetic perspective, I chose a verse from the book of Samuel, chapter 16, verse 17, which says, "The Eternal said to Samuel, pay no attention to his appearance or his stature, for I have rejected him. For not as man sees does Adonai see. Man only sees what is visible, but the Eternal sees into the heart." I think God is telling Samuel that just because someone looks good or is powerful or has influence doesn't mean they are good. God only cares about what's inside and how we are to others. In my own life, I try to focus on how people treat me and others and whether we like spending time together. It doesn't really matter if they're attractive or popular. This is one of the reasons why I chose to support the Thrive Youth Center for my mitzvah project. My friends and I believe that every kid should be able to live their life in a way that feels natural, authentic, and safe. But we know that not everyone has that freedom, and sometimes teens feel safer away from their family homes. According to the Thrive website, LGBTQ+ youth are 120% more likely to experience homelessness due to family conflicts, rejection, aging out of the foster care system, and poverty. Thrive serves the homeless LGBTQ+ community in San Antonio. Their mission is to provide a safe and supportive center for homeless LGBTQ youth so they can become productive, skilled, educated, and successful adults with the opportunity to achieve their dreams. I decided to collect non-perishable healthy snacks, high-protein snacks and beverages, first aid kits, sunscreen, shower curtains, and other supplies that are on the Thrive Youth Center donation list. Thank you to everyone who has donated supplies and helped me with my project. Even people who couldn't be here today helped out by sending packages from out of town. Everything we are donating will help Thrive help LGBTQ teens live a safer and healthier life. I feel that my project relates to my prophetic perspective because just like God sees the real person inside all of us, the Thrive Youth Center works to protect young people who are vulnerable and trying to express their true selves, even if the people in their families and communities won't accept them. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, tzor kol haolamim, tzadik bechol hadorot, ha'el ha'ne'eman, ha'omer ve'oseh, ha'medaber u'mekayem, she'kol devara emet v'tzedek. Al ha'torah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al ha'nevi'im ve'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh, shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu, liktusha ve'linucha, lechavod ultifaret. Al ha'kol Adonai Eloheinu, anachnu mudim la, u'mevarchim otcha, yitbarach shimcha befit kol hai, tamid le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha'shabbat.
Weekends, especially this time of year, are dedicated to soccer. And more often than not, you have a playlist on the half-hour drive to every game that ends with a hype song or an up-tempo banger that gets you excited and ready to win. I've never told you, but the next to seeing you play, listening to music together on the way to shirts is my favorite part of every game. It's an opportunity for us to share songs we like, dance with the hope of catching the attention of other drivers, and sing even though one of us can't carry a tune. Hearing how beautifully you chanted Torah today should leave little doubt as to who that is. Miriam, it is your voice that has made today so special. You did a beautiful job leading the congregation in worship and challenging us to find meaning in our tradition. Unfortunately, Judaism has often fallen short when it comes to amplifying the voices of women. In your parsha, for example, God refers to Noah's wife 5 times, but never by name. Still, when we speak her name, Naama, we allow her voice to be heard, and by extension, yours as well. Surrounding you today in person and in spirit are a chorus of women who have also helped guide you to this moment. They include friends from school, teammates from soccer, besties and counselors from Green Family Camp, caregivers, clergy and teachers, moms that demand action or all-around boss queens, and most of all, your family, cousins, aunties, your grandma Hope, dearest, and of course, mommy. We are all so proud of you, and before you add another song to your music library, your mother and I hope you take these lyrics to heart and download the prophetic playlist we made just for you. Coming in hot is Taylor Swift, who was thinking of you when she wrote the words to her hit song, Mean. Someday I'll be big enough so you can't hit me, and all you're ever gonna do is be mean. Miriam, sometimes you gotta just shake it off. Did I get it? But as Taylor reminds us, it's okay and necessary to call out people when they're trying to tear you down. As you enter the next phase of your life, our hope is that you continue to make yourself heard and that you use your voice to lift up others who have been silenced. Next is Selena Gomez, who gets midrashic on one of her biggest hits, Who Says? I know. But who are you to judge when you're a diamond in the rough? I'm sure you've got some things you'd like to change about yourself. But when it comes to me, I wouldn't want to be anybody else. In other words, it's not always about being heard. Rather, it's about tuning out the voices of people who say you're not star potential or presidential, and listening to people who you trust and are there for you no matter what, who are positive and who appreciate your gifts and what you bring to the world. Because all that matters is that you love you despite what anyone says. Last but not least is Nicki Minaj, who's in heavy rotation. I just said Nicki Minaj from the Vima, huh? How about, right? Who's in heavy rotation when you've got the aux. She's nothing if not playful, but on all things go, she gets serious and delivers. Cherish these nights, cherish these people. Life is a movie, but there'll never be a sequel. Miriam, life only happens once. It can be hard sometimes, especially when you're preparing for your bat mitzvah. So take a cue from Nicki and remember to relax, enjoy the journey, and take the time, especially now, to appreciate everything around you. Miriam, we are your biggest fans, and we can't wait for the sequel to today's smash hit. Until then, keep sharing your voice and making music for everyone to enjoy. We are so proud of you, and we love you.
At this moment of joy, we return Torah to the Ark. I invite up Zachary Nathan, Emily Newsom, Max Nathan, Sydney Nathan, and Ace Nathan, Miriam's cousins, to help us open the Ark. And I invite the congregation to please rise. Page 256.
It's Chaim Eden.
You may be seated.
Hi. I just told Miriam I have no idea what I'm going to say, so we'll see how this goes, which is not generally the truth. Who just laughed at me? Who was that? How are you feeling? You're fine? You're still nervous? A little bit? Okay. Okay. Literally, from the moment you were born, 3 days after Yom Kippur, I thought, man, I'm gonna be so old when my daughter becomes a bat mitzvah. It's so far away. And yet, here you are standing in front of this congregation that is filled with family and friends who are like family to support you and to support our family as you complete the trifecta of Nathan B'nai Mitzvah and really stand up in front of the congregation just glowing. Glowing, yeah. Not only did you master a lot of Torah and chant it beautifully, but the minute you got your Torah portion, you were very clear on what you wanted to do, which was, you didn't state it exactly this way in your Devar Torah, put God on trial, right? Like, why would God do that? Why would God punish people? Why would God set up a situation where human beings were bound to fail? It was a good question. It's a question that we've been asking for a long time. And with your wisdom, beyond your 13 years, you recognize that God was in a process of perhaps evolving to see how it was that God would manage those human beings that God had created, right? And help them to be better people. So it really, where are my Larchmont Temple people? This was the perfect Torah portion for you. That's the thing Rabbi Serkman likes to say, right? But it was a perfect Torah portion. This is a Torah portion that everybody knows, right? Noah and the ark, the 2x2, the whole thing. And yet you honed in on the moral dilemma of the Torah portion, right? Which is, how can you punish people when they don't even seem to realize that they're doing the wrong thing? And this speaks to you as a human being because you are interested in the gray. You like to look at complicated questions and try to understand what the right thing is to do. You know how important it is to you to be a good friend, to be a good sibling, to be a good cousin, a wonderful granddaughter, and you're aware of the push and pull of your middle school life and how you're supposed to balance those things in a way that is really mature and beyond your years. Sometimes it's hard to be the third child. Your parents are a little tired. And yet, it doesn't feel like when you're left by yourself with us because your brothers have gone off to do other things that you seem to mind our company too much. And I would never speak for Dad, but I think we both cherish the fact that you still think we're at least tolerable and even sometimes enjoyable to be with. And that is something that I know I felt when I was with my family growing up, and I think Dad did too. And we hope that you will always feel super connected to your family and to your brothers and to your extended family as well. Having so many of us here really is a blessing. And I know that both of us and Dad and our whole family wish that Papa could be here too. But he is here in spirit because he loves you so much. And from the moment you were born, he definitely had a special relationship with you. So know that Papa is sending so much love to you and would be so, so proud, and will be proud when he watches the service later, to see you chant your Torah and teach Torah so beautifully. My hope for you, Miriam, is that this day proves to you, if you didn't know it already, that anything that you want to do in this world, you can conquer and you can do it. You have grace, you have beauty, but that beauty is so much about who you are to other people, how you treat them kindly, how you bring people together, and always want the best for everyone. Don't ever give that up. Dad and I are so proud of you, and I know this congregation, having known you since you were 4 years old, to see you now as this beautiful young woman is overflowing with pride and joy for our whole family. So now I'm going to invite, I'm going to switch back into mom role, and Kendra Berlin and Rabbi Jurgen are going to offer you the priestly benediction in front of the open ark. So everyone, please rise.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and keep you.
Yair Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha.
May God deal kindly with you and be gracious unto you.
Yisai Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May God's presence shine upon you, Miriam, and grant you life's choicest blessings, health, happiness, lots of family love, and most of all, peace. And together we say, Amen. You may be seated, except for Miriam. So I'm going to start, but I'm going to also invite up Debbie Roos, president of our Board of Trustees, and we're going to both give you a couple of gifts. I've been thinking about how to say this without embarrassing you, so I don't think it'll embarrass you, but maybe more me. But when I got here, I would say that you were my first friend here. So I know that sounds really silly because you were 5, but I distinctly remember being at your parents' house, I think it was for Sukkot, and you and I snuck away from all the adults, stole your brother's laptop, and were taking ridiculous selfies of each other. I don't know if you remember that, but I really wish we could find those. Maybe we can look for those later. But it was one of the best moments. I felt like you and I got to connect, and that has never ended. And so I'm so honored to be up here with you as my first friend at Temple Beth-El. And I have to ask, because I always ask, was this the fastest bat mitzvah you've ever been? Yes, see, we don't just say it just for fun, we mean it. So when you are in school later this week and you say, did that really happen? And Rabbi Jurgen says this every week, yes, it did, and here's the certificate to prove it. And we also, from North American Federation of Temple Youth, give you a gift certificate to help get you on a trip to Israel, which I know that you will do. And when you complete confirmation, Temple Beth-El will match that. I'm going to invite Debbie forward.
I have a speech for you too. Miriam, are we on?
It's on.
Miriam, it is such an honor to stand here with you today as both the president of the congregation and more importantly as your friend. Maybe not your second friend. Our family's lives have been intertwined since you landed in San Antonio all those years ago. Our daughter Bailey used to babysit you and your brothers. Cole and Solomon have forged their way into a soccer and video game-centric friendship. Your mom and I have moved in and out of twindom, sharing styles and likely personality traits over the years. And our families have shared countless holidays, life events, and well, just life. And you have been there every step of the way. My first vivid memory of you was at your house in Rogers Ranch. You were tiny. And the next thing I knew, this micro person was belting out Let It Go from Frozen. It was truly beautiful. Your voice was captivating, but so was your confidence, your unbridled joy, and the tiny spark of mischief that twinkled in your eye because you knew everyone, you had us all in your tiny little hand. Marty and I still talk about that day. One thing I know about people, we just become more of who we already are. And today, you showed us just that. You were captivating, confident, and you radiated that joy and that twinkle in your eye that as you so gracefully led us in prayer. You were the beacon who called all these people here today to celebrate, to join in worship, to share in community and the unequaled love of family. You did that, Miriam. You always do that, my friend, because that's who you are. You make your family proud, your friends proud, your school proud, your community proud, and your congregation proud. And it's on behalf of that congregation that I have some special gifts to present to you today in honor of your bat mitzvah. First, on behalf of Temple Brotherhood, I'd like to give you this Kiddush cup and these candlesticks, right here. We hope that they travel meaningfully with you through your life. Secondly, on behalf of Temple Sisterhood, I give you this beautiful Hebrew Bible engraved with your name. We hope it serves as the cornerstone of your Jewish library. One final note. This book should probably get origination rights to your Frozen debut. Exodus 5:1 kind of set the stage with, "Let my people go." I'm just saying. Mazel tov.
So the last gift that I want to present to you is this tzedakah box from Yachad, our religious school parents group. And when we met to talk about your mitzvah project, there were a couple of different ways to go. And I know that you will put this to good use, whether it's with Thrive or any other endeavor that you so choose. We continue now with our concluding portion of our worship service this morning. I would like to invite up Miriam's cousins, Dean Zindler, Scott Zindler, Stephen Zindler, and Levi Zindler to attend to our ark, and I invite everyone to join us with Aleinu, page 283. Please rise.
Aleinu shabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula liotzer bereshit, shehu samchakenu liached et shemo, vegor aleinu lamlich malchuto, vanachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, lifnei
You may be seated. Our memorial meditation can be found on page 289. In nature's ebb and flow, God's eternal law abides. When tears dim our vision or grief clouds our understanding, we often lose sight of God's eternal plan. Yet we know that growth and decay, life and death, all reveal a divine purpose. God, who is our support in the struggles of life, is also our hope in death. We have set God before us and shall not despair. In God's hands are the souls of all the living and the spirits of all flesh. Under God's protection we abide, and by God's love are we comforted. O life of our life, soul of our soul, cause your light to shine into our hearts and fill our spirits with abiding trust in you. Our thoughts turn now to those in our community and extended community who have died at this time in years past. As we remember them, we mark their yard sites. We remember Morris Adelman, Shirley Alter, Ima Jean Barnett, Faye Berger, Robert Blaine, Lily Bloom, Molly Braveman, Burton Cohn, Louis Croft, William A. Dougherty III, Raquel Bendekoff Dureski, Alice Dubinsky, June Ekano, Samuel Alexander Feiner, Dr. J. Michael Freeberg, Doyle Gilreath, Samuel Glass, Marilyn Glosserman, Julian Gold, Betty Lee Greenberg, David Hirsch, Joe Horwitz, Rhonda Kinney, Ida Kotlikoff, Erwin Kraus, Richard Landsman, Morris Lerner, Barbara Levine, Mark Levine, Ann Marks, Richard Pais, Jack Pitnock III, Samuel W. Planto, Shelley R. Prober, Sam Pullman, Susan Nanette Ralston, Joan Ratner, Judy Rositis, Harry Reed, Kenneth Kenny Rose, Jeanette Sachs, Louis Charlack, Erwin Schifrin, Freda Verrett, June Valerie Walker, and Colonel Ellis Wheelis. We also think of those who have been buried in the past 30 days, whose families are in a mourning period of Shloshim. We remember Dahlia Temple Pagan, Irving Poncho Greenblum, Adele Rosso, Jocelyn Levi Strauss, Sheldon Arnold Altman, Leonard J. Schwartz, Kathleen Ann Gibson, and Edward Hardy. We also think of one who was buried this past week, whose family is in a mourning period of Shiva. We remember Betsy Merjani, wife of Ken, mother of Michael, Matthew, Stephen, and Jacob, and sister of Robert Lane. At this sacred hour, Miriam's family particularly remembers Mary Churlin, Marlene Nathan Meyerson, David Meyerson, David Nathan, Tilly Nathan, Lillian Schwartz, Harold Schwartz, Adele Zimmerman, Harold Zimmerman, Anna Zindler, Sterling Bubba Zindler, Sharon Zindler, and Sterling Zindler. With all of these names, we add those which are in our hearts each and every day as we turn to page 294, rising together as one community for Kaddish Yatom. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayachon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'v'zman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'elam ulmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yithaleh v'yithalal shemei d'kudashah b'richu, La'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say, Amen. Our closing song can be found on page 322. And as we prepare for that, I would like to call forward Isaac and Solly Nathan, Rabbi Mara and Larry Nathan, and all of Miriam's camp friends from GFC for Kiddush and Motzi.
Ein Keloheinu, ein Koroneinu, ein Kemokeinu, ein
Cholam, Borei Peri Hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lehem min haaretz v'tei avod.
Shabbat Shalom.
Oh, Larry's gonna get the ring.
Oh, not that. I'll take it.
You did it! And you didn't drop the tour.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay.
I take it.
Congratulations, Larry.
I know. She wants to come? Yes. Wait, so she probably. Okay, that's why I came in last night because I'm like, I know there's gonna be so much traffic this morning. I don't want to do it. Okay, are any of y'all staying at the St. Anthony? And so what to do the next like 5 hours? Okay. Yeah, I was sitting with him last night.
Thank you. I'm going. I need a piece of color. I'm
He
gonna.
asked how camp was, and I had to have a very awkward response.
Hey, influenza.
So well.
I love seriously. We spent the whole time.
They were sitting in the back.
I know. I was literally. I got laughing.